Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Vishwajit, Titya, Karthik, Anand, and I hope I'm audible. Okay, so let us begin with the session. So, hello everyone, welcome to EduTap's another session of Perspective 360 degree, where we do current affair based answer writing practice in a detailed, unstructured manner. So, if you are an aspirant preparing for exams like RBI, NABARD, etc., then this initiative is definitely going to help you with answer writing practice for the descriptive paper of phase 2. So, let us begin with our discussion. And the topic that we are going to cover today is the non performing assets and the context why we are covering this topic. Because in the month of December, RBI has released this report on trend and progress of banking in India. Now we are going to do answer writing practice on this report also, but this is not going to happen today because this will be done in the next session, either in the next session or maybe on Monday. So we are going to do specific answer writing on this report. So as a part of this report, it has been highlighted that the gross NPA ratio has reduced in India. It has dropped down. So when this report was released, we have not covered this topic. So what we are going to do, we are going to cover this gross NPA ratio, and we are going to do answer writing practice regarding the regarding the NPA as a part of this report. So this is going to be the approach of this lecture, and in the next lecture or maybe next to next lecture, what we are going to do, we are going to do answer writing practice based on this report, because this report has been very precisely mentioned as a part of your syllabus. So I hope this point is clear to you. And if you're somebody who is new to this Perspective 360 degree series, so let me tell you that here firstly we give you an expected question, and we are going to discuss this expected question as a part of this session. And once this session is done, you have to write the answer of this expected question in the comment box. That will be evaluated by our team within 48 hours. That is, today is um, Monday, yes. So you have to submit your answer before Wednesday, 5 p.m. And this whole initiative is free of cost. So I hope this is clear to you what this initiative or this series is all about. So I have pasted a screenshot of the question that has been that are similar to that, I mean, that have been asked from the different reports in the previous year. So in the 2023, in the RBI Grade B, there was a question related to, in the light of the report on currency and finance released by RBI, explain macroeconomic effect on climate change and the three landmark global collaborations on climate change. So this was asked with respect to this report, and similarly there was also a question related to financial stability report, and just like that we are going to cover this report on uh, trend and progress of banking in India also. We are going to cover this report also in our upcoming session, but today we are going to restrict our session to the NPA that have been highlighted as a part of this report. So the expected question for today is, what are the various factors contributing to NPA in the banking sector, and how can these issues be addressed? And what measures has the government undertaken to tackle the NPA problem in India? So if we see the keywords that are mentioned in this question, then the question is regarding the NPA. And the question is very straightforward. It is asking about the factors contributing to NPA in the banking sector and how these factors or the reasons can be tackled. So it is basically asking about the solutions with respect to the NPA. The third body part is, what measures the government has undertaken to tackle the NPA problem in India. So the measures or the steps taken by the government. So this is how we are going to divide our answer while writing it uh, in the comment box, and also as a part of when you will write it in the examination. That's how you have to identify the keywords, and then you will break down the answer. Now let us go through the answer blueprint that you need to follow while writing your answer. So you have to divide your answer into introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Introduction should be around 10 to 12% of the total word limit, and the same word limit rule applies to the conclusion part also. And at the end, rest of the word limit should be allocated to the body part, where you will write your body in the form of different headings and subheadings. So today we are going to have three headings, which is the challenges, which is the reason of NPA, the solutions, and also the steps taken by the government. Under it, we are going to have different subheadings, below which we are going to have our relevant points, which we will substantiate with the help of relevant data, facts, and examples. So this is going to be our approach for today's session also. So this is the question that we have already discussed how we are going to break it down. So firstly, coming to the introduction part, and since the new news is regarding the gross NPA ratio, that the gross NPA ratio has fell down. So we are going to understand what exactly the gross NPA is. So just a brief overview. I'm not going to get into details because NPA itself is a detailed topic. So we are not going to talk about a lot of details, but just a brief overview regarding what gross NPA is and how it is different from net NPA. So firstly, let us talk about NPA. So NPA, in a very brief manner, we can define NPA as the assets in which the loan is overdue for 90 days. So if the loan in the bank is overdue for 90 days, then it is counted as assets. Now there are different types of these assets that I'm not going to discuss because they are not relevant to this session. Now, when we talk about the NPAs, there is a term called provisioning of NPA. So what do you mean by the provisioning? Provisioning basically provisioning is nothing but it is a precautionary measure. The precautionary measure that is taken by the bank. And what do they do in provisioning? In provisioning means to keep the reserves against potential loan losses. So what banks do in provisioning is that provisioning of loans means that banks keep a certain percentage of loan that is set aside in order to mitigate the risk that is associated with the losses. So suppose if they are giving a certain percentage of loan, then what they are going to do, they are going to keep aside a certain part of that loan in order to reduce the risk. So this is what we understand by provisioning of loan, the risk that are associated with the potential loan losses. So this is what the provisioning means. Now, why we are understanding this term provisioning? Because when we talk about NPA, by including the provisioning in it, then it is nothing but it is the gross NPA. But when we exclude the provisioning numbers from the NPA, then this is nothing but the net NPA. So this is the difference between gross NPA and the net NPA, that when we talk about the gross NPA, then gross NPA reflects the total value of loans that are classified as non-performing, and it reflects the total amount of risky assets of the bank. Whereas when we talk about the net NPA exclude the numbers of provisioning, the reserves that have been taken by the bank as a part of the loan that they have given. So we exclude this provisioning, and gross NPA gives us the clearer picture of exact NPAs. So this is the difference between the gross NPA and the net NPA, and about the non-performing assets. So now what is gross NPA ratios? Now this is very easy, because gross NPA ratio means the total gross NPA out of the total gross advances or the loans that are given by the bank. So into 100. it is written in percentage. So basically gross NPA ratio reflects or it gives insights about the proportion of NPA with respect to the loans that are extended by the bank. So this is nothing but the gross NPA, and this is the gross NPA that has recently been reduced as per the report by the RBI, and we are going to see all these things one by one. I'm not going to discuss report today. We are going to discuss it in our next session where we will do answer writing practice. So talking about this question, the answer of this question and the introduction. So firstly, we can talk about a fact regarding the NPA. That's how we can start our introduction. So NPA poses significant challenges. NPA pose significant challenges to the stability and profitability of the banking sector, impacting financial institutions and the broader economy alike. So it means it affects both the financial institutions and the overall economy. So what after that we can write? We can write a data, and this data I have taken from this report only. So according to RBI's report on trend and progress of banking in India, the gross NPA ratio of scheduled commercial banks fell to a decadal low of 3.9% at end March 2023 and further to 3.2% at end September 2023. So this shows that this reflects that the gross NPA ratio, which means the gross NPAs out of the total loans that are extended by the bank. So this ratio has been decreasing. So that is what has been highlighted in the report. And then we can write, however, despite some improvements, the challenges and the underlying reasons persist. So what we are doing, since the question is asking about the factors contributing to NPA, so we are saying that even if the NPAs are decreasing, even if they are reducing, the gross NPAs ratio is lowering down, but still the challenges exist. So this line is acting as our linkage line with the body, because after that we are going to see the reasons for the non-performing assets. So we are ending our introduction with that despite these trends of lowering the gross NPA ratio, the challenges and the underlying reasons still persist. So this is regarding the introduction, and I hope the approach is clear to you. The next is the second part, which is the body part, the causes of NPA, the reasons behind the NPAs that still exist. So the first is a defective lending process or the practices of the bank. So one of the reasons why the NPAs are there in India, the NPA is still a major critical challenge in India, is because of the defective lending process. So improper selection and lack of periodic review of the credit profile of borrowers, ensuring their repayment capabilities, can create NPAs in the public sector banks. So one of the problems that is there in the banking sector, that banks do not periodically review the capability of the borrowers to repay loan. So because of this inconsistency, what happens is that because of this inconsistency of not periodically reviewing the capability of borrowers to repay loan, what happens? This increases the risk of NPA. So this is first factor regarding a defective lending process. Another factor is due to lack of cooperation with financial institutions. Borrowers default in more than one bank. So what happens is that what borrowers usually do, many borrowers, what they are doing, the practice that they are doing is they take loan from the bank A, they take loan from the bank B and bank C also, but there is lack of coordination between the bank A and bank B and bank C. Suppose he has taken loan from the bank A and the bank B, and now when he approaches the bank C does not have a good amount of coordination with bank A and B, so he is not able to review the credit profile or the history or the credit history of that borrower, and this borrower keeps on taking the loan, and that is one of the important factor regarding the increasing NPA. That leads to creation of NPA if that borrower becomes a defaulter in future, and that leads to trouble for both bank A, bank B and bank C. So this is regarding the defective lending process of the banks. The second is the willful defaulters. Willful defaulters are the one who have the capacity to pay loan, but they still do not pay the loan intentionally. So the rising cases of borrowers who have access to funds to repay their loans but still choose not to and default on the repayment of the loan. So these are the willful borrowers. And according to Narasimhan committee, this is the data that you can write in your answer in order to substantiate your point of willful defaulters, that according to Narasimhan committee 1991, the major part of 1991 NPA problem was due to lack of willingness. So willful borrowers formed a major proportion of the NPA defaulters, and they were the major reason behind the NPA in the 1991. So that was given by the Narasimhan committee. Then apart from this data, you can also add, I mean, you can write any one data out of this two data if your answer is becoming very lengthy, but you can write it as a part of value addition in your notes. So this is according to RBI, and I've taken this data from this report of trend and analysis in banking. So from this report of trend and progress in banking in India, so I've taken the data from this only. So according to this report, there were 2,623 unique borrowers classified as willful defaulters with an aggregate outstanding of rupees 1,96,000 crore by scheduled commercial banks till the end of March 2023. So according to this RBI report, when they analyzed the credit profile of the borrowers, so let me also tell you that this whole data of 2,623 with an aggregate outstanding of 1,96,000 crore loans or the NPAs. So this data is not for all the borrowers. This is only for those borrowers whose aggregate exposures is more than rupees 500 crores. So those borrowers who have taken the loans from the bank more than rupees 500 crores. So out of those borrowers, 2,623 are the willful defaulters. And these willful defaulters, the loan that have been taken by these willful defaulters, that is 2,623 willful defaulters, the loan that have been taken by them amounts to rupees 1,96,049 crores. So this shows that willful defaulters form a major proportion of the NPAs in India. The third is regarding the regulatory issues. So the flouting of RBI guidelines and non-compliance with the regulatory directions regarding banking operations can lead to frauds and the rise in the NPAs. So for example, the poor governance related in failure of Punjab Maharashtra cooperative banks. So this is another issue regarding the reason behind the non-performing assets. The third is the frauds by the bankers and the borrowers. So the size of frauds in the public sector banking system has been increasing, though still small relative to the overall volume of the NPAs. So out of the total NPAs, the public sector bank frauds and the size of frauds has been increasing, the number has been increasing. So this is a data that you can write that according to RBI report, again I have taken this data from the same report. So according to RBI report, total frauds cases amount to rupees 45,000 around 45,000 crores in 2021 to 2022. Now out of this total 45,000, around 45,000 fraud cases, I mean this amount which is because of the fraud cases, the frauds related to advances or the loans are valued at rupees 43,000 512 crore. If this means that out of this 45,598 crores, this 43,512 crores found is a major proportion, which is related to the loans and advances. So apart from that, there are frauds related to deposits also, but they are not a part of this 43,000 crores. So this shows that the total fraud cases amount that are because of the frauds by the banks and the borrowers are high according to this RBI report. So this is another major reason for the non-performing assets. Now let us move on to the second part of the body, which is the solutions related to it. So the first solution is the government support. So what the government should do? Government should adopt a comprehensive 4R strategy, and these solutions have been mentioned in the report only, the report that we are discussing. I've not taken any content from outside because there is no limitation of content. Content is unlimited. You, even if you want to add any type of content in the reasons or the solutions, you can add it on your own. But my idea was to take all the content from the report only so that we can discuss the report also as a part of it. So the first solution that has been mentioned in the report is the government support. So what the government should do, government should adopt a 4R strategy. Now, what does it mean by the 4R strategy? 4R strategy means, firstly, recognition of NPAs. So, government should make efforts in order to recognize the NPAs in a transparent manner. Then the second R is the resolution and the recovery of NPA. So what the government should do after recognizing the NPA, the government should take necessary steps in order to resolve and recover the NPAs from the stressed accounts. Then the third step is recapitalization of public sector banks. Now, what do you mean by recapitalization of public sector banks? Because a lot of time what happens is that the public sector banks that are there, because of the insufficient funds or because of the high NPAs that are there or the frauds, so different factors are there. Because of this, banks suffer through the financial constraints or the lack of funds, and this affects the functioning of the bank. So what the government can do, government can recapitalize the bank. Recapitalize means government can add funds to the bank so that it can improve the functioning of the bank and can tackle the various challenges. So this is what we understand by recapitalization of public sector banks. The third point is regarding reforms in the PSP. So in order to bring the long-term solutions, the long-term visionary solutions, what the government should do, the government should bring reforms in the public sector banks and the financial ecosystems. So by following this 4R strategy, what will happen? Government can play important role in reducing the NPAs and can strengthen the public sector banks. The second point is regarding the strengthen the credit monitoring. So when we talk about the credit monitoring, so what the report has recommended that government should develop an early warning mechanism. Now, early warning mechanism means to identify the potential accounts that can lead to NPA in advance only. So government should create this early warning mechanism so that the accounts that are vulnerable, that have higher chances in order to turn into NPA. So government to take this early warning steps so that they are well prepared for this NPAs and can able to resolve it efficiently in a better manner and take the measures in advance only. So this is regarding the early warning system. And second is the comprehensive management information system. So management information system is nothing but it is a database that a government should adopt in a more comprehensive manner, and this database includes the parameters or the information such as the credit history of the borrowers, then the loan portfolios, the borrower profiles, and apart from that, different parameters related to the credit risk indicators. These are the different things or the different information that are that should be present in the management information system, which is MIS, and that has been recommended by the report that government should develop comprehensive MIS to enable timely detection of problem accounts and flag early signs of delinquencies and facilitates timely information to management on these aspects. So this is another solution that has been recommended in the report. The third is the approval process. So the bank should have an established credit approval process for new credits as well as refinancing of existing credits. A comprehensive assessment and periodic review of the borrower's financial health and repayment capacity should be carried out. So if you have attended yesterday's session, I mean not the yesterday but the session that we took on Friday, the last session that we conducted, in that session we talk about the public tech platform for frictionless credit. In that platform, while discussing it, I talked about the process of credit appraisal, where we talked about that how credit appraisal is a challenging process for the banks. They have to connect to multiple entities, and what does it lead to? It leads to delay in the loan disbursement by the bank. So this is another major problem regarding the approval process. What does it do? It delays the approval of loan in the bank. So the thing that we discussed today, the public tech platform for frictionless credit, you can write this also as a part of the solution, that government should adopt measures, government should take steps in order, advanced steps, or the technology oriented steps, such as the public tech platform for frictionless credit, in order to improve the loan approval process. So this is also what you can write as a part of your solution, that bank should have an established credit approval process for new credits as well as refinancing of the existing credits. So they should have the certain mechanism or the approval process for these factors also. So a comprehensive assessment and periodic review of the borrower's financial health and repayment capacity should be carried out. So these are the points that you can write in a very concise manner. And with the along with that, one line you can write about the public tech platform for frictionless credit, which is an innovative solution with respect to the NPAs and for the easy loan approval process. The last point is the risk management. So the banks need to do risk management in a better manner. The banks can mitigate their potential concentration risk to a specific borrower group, sector, geography, maturity duration, etc. So what this point is all about is that it is encouraging bank to give loans to the diverse type of borrowers instead of giving loans only to people from a certain sectors. Because what will happen in future, if in future a certain sector falls, if it suffers in a drastic manner, then what is going to happen? It is going to impact the financial constraints of the bank. It is going to impact the operating mechanism of the bank. So the functioning of the bank is going to get affected if these sectors suffer in a negative manner. So what this point is asking, it is encouraging banks to diversify the loan portfolios to reduce their concentration risk. So it is asking bank to not do over reliance on a specific sector or type of borrower that can lead to higher NPAs during the economic downturns in that sector. So this is what this whole point is all about. The last part is the step taken by the government to reduce the NPA. So there are different steps that have been taken by the government in the past. So I have written 5 steps, but what you can do in order to, write the answer in the word limit, you can write 4 steps in a very concise manner. You don't have to elaborate too much. And when we talk about the first point, which is the SURFACI Act, so SURFACI Act, the act that was passed by the government. So the idea behind SURFACI Act is that it empowers the secured creditors to take action against loan defaulters. Now, mind you that this initiative of SURFACI, this law that was passed by the government, this only empowers the secured creditors, not all type of creditors. Who are secured creditors? Secured creditors are the one who have given loans, who have extended loans to the borrowers through the collateral. So these are the secured creditors. So these can be the banks or the financial institutions. So it empowers the banks after giving a notice to the borrower, that if the borrower is still the defaulter, if he is not taking any type of action towards the notice, then what they can do, they can take action against the loan defaulters. And what they can do, they can sell or auction the collateral or the property that borrower had given. So this is the idea behind the SURFACI Act. So SURFACI Act allows secured creditors to take possession of collateral against which a loan had been provided upon a default in payment. Then the second step that has been taken by the government is the debt recovery tribunals that was established under Recovery of Debt and Bankruptcy Act 1993. And the role is that it provides for the establishment of tribunals, and these tribunals educate the matter and aid in the recovery of the debts. The third point is regarding insolvency and the bankruptcy code. Now, I'm not discussing these points in detail because these laws itself, they are very comprehensive, and there is no point of discussing these points in a comprehensive manner, because otherwise the video will become very lengthy. So when we talked about IBC code of 2016, then this code talks about the insolvency resolution of the corporate persons, the partnership firms, and individuals in a time bound manner within 180 days or the extended period of 90 days. So total days are 180 plus 90. So they preferentially they try to solve it within 180 days, and there is extended line of 90 days. The next is the national asset reconstruction companies. So when we talk about the reconstruction companies, so the job of these company is they acquire the NPA from the banks. So NPA and other type of stressed assets, and what they do with this NPA, either they restructure the loans, or what they can do, they can sell the loan. Sorry, they can sell the loans or the sell the assets that are related to that loans or the collateral of the borrower. So what they can do, either they can restructure the loan or they can sell the asset. Now restructuring of loan means changing the terms and conditions with respect to the loan. So terms and conditions such as they will reduce the amount of the loan, or they will increase the tenure or the term up to which the borrower can repay the loan. So all these type of things come under restructuring of loan. So these are the things that can be done through National Asset Reconstruction Company, which is a government-backed company. So it aims to reduce NPO of banks, improving financial system stability and inefficiencies. It is incorporated under the Companies Act 2013 and PSB's holding and majority stake. So this is regarding the asset reconstruction company. And the last is the Indradhanush plan for revamping public sector banks, envisaging fusion of capital in public sector banks. So these are the points regarding that are the steps that have been taken by the government in order to reduce the NPA. Lastly, we have the conclusion. So the NPAs continue to be a significant challenge for the banking sector, impacting financial stability and hindering economic growth. So what we are saying that it's though the gross NPA has reduced as per the recent report, you can write the name of the report also in the conclusion. So you can write the conclusion that even if the gross NPA has reduced as per the report of the as per the recent RBI report, but still the NPA is a significant challenge for the banking sector. Now the what we need to do in future, collaborative efforts between the government, regulatory authorities, banks, and other stakeholders are essential to effectively manage NPAs, restore the health of the banking sector, and support economic recovery and growth. By addressing the root cause of NPAs and implementing robust framework for risk management and resolution, India can build a more resilient and sustainable banking system for the future. So firstly, we talk about that NPA, though even if the gross NPA ratio has been reducing, it has been declining, but NPA is still a important challenge. Then we talk about the short-term way forward. And lastly, we talk about the long-term vision that in order for India to become more resilient and sustainable banking system, what we need to do, we need to address the root causes of NPA and implement robust framework for risk management. So that's how you can write your conclusion, and you can improvise it in your manner. You can write your original version of the conclusion, that I would highly appreciate. And that is regarding the today's session, and this is the question, the answer of which you have to write in the comment box. That will be evaluated by our team. Now let me see the chat box. Some of you have been asking few questions. So Karthik is asking, sir, can't we write this answer is 600 words, as there is too much of data and information to cover? Karthik, the point is that uh, earlier I was also thinking that I should make you write this answer in 600 words, but the point is that writing 600-word answer is easier as compared to writing 400-word answer, because the thing that is going to happen in the exam is that you will be loaded with a lot of information. So what I want you to do is, I want you to practice for writing 400-word answer, so that even if I'm giving you, a lot of content, you should be in a position to organize this content in such a way that you are able to write your answer concisely. So अगर 400 वर्ड का आंसर आपने लिख लिया, तो 600 वर्ड का आंसर लिखने में कभी प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी अगर आपके पास इनफ कंटेंट है. So if you are able to understand the approach, how to structure your answer, how to write the introduction, body and conclusion, and you are able to write 400, then there should be no problem in writing the 600 word answer. Writing 600 word answer is very easy because you have all the information, you just have to write down the information. The main point is that I want you to be trained. I want you to do practice for writing the 400 word answer with a large amount of knowledge. So this is the reason why I usually give 400 word answer. Sometimes I give 600 words answer also, but mostly I give 400 words answer only. Answer only. So this is the reason why I do so. Vandita is asking why the data of willful defaulters not maintained accurately. Yes, this is you can say the inefficiency of the banking system. Uh, why the data has not been maintained accurately. Wait, let me open the slide and let me show you the point that you are asking. So this is the data that has been mentioned in the report. So I don't know why you are saying that data has not been maintained accurately, because the data has been written. So this data is regarding those people who have aggregate exposures of rupees 500 crore and above. So the data has been mentioned accurately. I don't know why you are saying that data has not been maintained accurately. Sir, if we continuously follow this session, will it be helpful? Will it be enough, or should I write answer daily? I think it should be enough for you if you write answers. I mean, thrice a week. So if you're writing answer as a part of this initiative, it should be enough for you. Apart from that, if you are not a beginner, if you are an experienced aspirant, what you can do, you can give mock test also. So it all depends on you. If you are a totally beginner, or maybe at a medium level, you are preparing since 4 to 6 months. So you can just follow this initiative. It should be enough for you. Apart from that, you can give mock test and all those things in order to maintain better consistency. So I hope I have addressed your questions, and so that is it for today. I'm ending the session now.